It's been a while since I have uploaded a podcast, and it's been a while. I'm sorry. It was funny. I actually thought in my head, like, is that going to be a good idea? Should I leave that in the podcast? Yeah, I'm going to leave it in the podcast. Welcome back to the Chandler Burton Podcast. I am your host, Chandler Burton, and it has been a while. It has been a couple of weeks since I have uploaded my last podcast. My last podcast, actually, was on E3, and that was a really big podcast to put together, gathering all the information, and it actually turned out being one of my most popular podcasts to listen to on YouTube and on all streaming services. So thank you so much for that. I really, really do appreciate it here. So today we're going to be talking again about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I gave you my ranking of all the movies, if you guys want to check that out. I also talked about how I think that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home, coming out here this December. But now we are back. We are back again talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just cannot get enough of this universe, man. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love superhero movies, and these movies just do it right, man. So because of Black Widow, that actually comes out today, July 9th. You can actually watch it now on Disney Plus with Premier Access. So you need to have a Disney Plus subscription, and you also need to pay another $30 to watch the film at home, or it is now in theaters if theaters are open back up in your area. Luckily, they are open for mine, and my dad's birthday is tomorrow, so we're going to go see it for his birthday, and he's really excited. And I'm excited to check it out, too. It'll be nice just to see a new Marvel movie on the big screen again. It's been way too long since we've seen a movie like that. So due to Black Widow, I figured it'd be kind of fun to do a podcast on the correct way to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, the movies were released, again, started with Iron Man 1 all the way down to Avengers Endgame. And to be honest, to be fair, you can watch these movies the way they are and understand kind of what's going on. But I would say if you've already seen them and you want to kind of figure out where Black Widow fits into the timeline, because there's people like my mom where she was like, isn't she dead? How's she getting a movie? So I figured it'd be kind of fun. My mom inspired me to do this podcast saying, I got to help people like my mother. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go over all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, including Black Widow, all 24 films, and I'm going to tell you the correct way to watch them in order. That way you can watch Black Widow. It's going to make sense. And it'd be kind of a new fun way to watch it, if you want to do that. Again, we've seen these movies multiple times, so feel free just to follow along. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast here. And of course, halfway through, we will take a musical break as always. We'll do about 12 movies, take a break, and do the other 12 movies as well. But what I'll do is we'll actually go over all the phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then continue to phase 4. I'm going to give you the release dates of all the upcoming movies here, so that way people aren't confused. So I'm first going to go over them in theatrical order, and then after we'll go over them in chronological order, and I'll be going over those, like with timelines and where things are placed, why they're placed there. So just bear with me here as we go through that. And I really, guys, hope you enjoy this episode of the Chandler Burton Podcast of going through the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the correct chronological order. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so as previously mentioned here, I'm going to go over the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just a theatrical order. That way you guys are kind of aware of what's coming out. Some people don't know there's a bunch of movies coming out here, so we're just going to go over those really quick, and then I will tell you the correct way to watch these movies if you guys are interested in watching the films. So phase 1, we have Iron Man, released in May of 2008. The Incredible Hulk, released June 13th, 2008. Iron Man 2 was released on May 7th, 2010. Thor, that was released on May 6th, 2011. Captain America, The First Avenger, which was released on July 22nd of 2011. And then Marvel's Avengers on May 4th, 2012. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is Iron Man 3, released May 3rd of 2013. Thor, The Dark World, which was released November 8th of 2013. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, released April 4th of 2014. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, August 1st of 2014. Avengers Age of Ultron, May 1st, 2015. And then Ant-Man was released July 17th of 2015. So again, that was Phase 2. Jumping into Phase 3, Phase 3, we start off with Captain America Civil War. That was May 6th, 2016. Doctor Strange, which dropped November 4th, 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which came out May 5th of 2017. Spider-Man Homecoming, July 17th of 2017. Thor Ragnarok, November 3rd, 2017. Black Panther, February 6th, 2018. Avengers Infinity War, April 27th, 2018. Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 6th of 2018. Captain Marvel, March 8th, 2019. Avengers Endgame, April 26th of 2019. And then Spider-Man Far From Home, July 2nd, 2019. So again, that was Phase 3. Now, these are going to be the new Phase 4 movies. And again, it's going to be a little confusing with Black Widow thrown in there. That's why I wanted to make a chronological list for everybody to follow along. So Phase 4 starts off with Black Widow, which comes out, today, 2021. Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, September 3rd of 2021. The Eternals, November 5th, 2021. Spider-Man No Way Home, December 17th, 2021. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, March 22nd, 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder, which comes out May 6th, 2022. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that is going to be July 8th, 2022. The Marvels, also known as Captain Marvel 2, November 11th of 2022. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, February 17th of 2023. And then the last movie announced as of right now is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will be coming out on May 5th, 2023. So those are all the movies from Phase 1 all the way down to currently working on Phase 4. So now what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to break down the movies, and I'm going to tell you the chronological order and where you should watch them. Again, this will be including Black Widow. That way you'll be able to know where to watch Black Widow in the timeline. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and away we go. All right, so we are now going to go over the movies in chronological order. Hopefully this will make sense. I will try to go make sure my voice is clear and go as slow as possible for those who really do want to watch the movies in order. At the end, again, I'll recap everything to make sure everything makes sense. But again, I'll explain the correct order to watch these movies and kind of where they take place in the timeline and those types of things. So hopefully next time you watch all these movies, including with Black Widow, everything is going to make sense, and you'll be able to enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe to its full potential. Because again, it's like it's the most fun I ever have at the theaters when I go to a Marvel movie. So I hope you guys, I just want to share that joy that I have with you guys as well. So we're going to get started here. So the first movie that you'll want to watch in the timeline, of course, is going to be Captain America, the First Avenger. Of course, this one's pretty obvious because, again, it takes place the earliest in the year 1940. It starts off, and then he goes to war about 1945, and then again, he is the first, and it's in the title too, Captain America, the First Avenger. So you want to start there because Captain America is the oldest superhero out of everybody here. So you want to start with Captain America, the First Avenger. The next one you want to watch, actually, is going to be Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel actually takes place in 1989, and then she goes back to Earth in, 1995. It's kind of weird because, it's funny because this movie technically is second on the timeline just based on the times, because we don't see Captain Marvel until Captain Marvel the movie, and then you see her again in Endgame and those types of things. So it's kind of weird placing it in the timeline this far up, but technically this is where it does go. So Captain Marvel would be second on the timeline. So the next movie on the timeline is going to be the first Iron Man. This movie actually takes place, the movie was released in 2008, but the movie actually takes place starting in the year 2010. I read that online, and it is confirmed that it does start in 2010. I don't know why they didn't start in 2008, just like when the movie was released. I'm not entirely sure. So the next movie we want to watch is going to be the first Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr., which, by the way, I watched actually a couple weeks ago, and that movie still holds up, man. Really good movie. So the next movie after is going to be Iron Man 2. Now, Iron Man 2, the reason why I put Iron Man 2 right after the reason why I put Iron Man 2 after Iron Man 1 is because there is a setup for the Avengers in that movie. Nick Fury reaches out to Iron Man, gives him the Avengers initiative, tells him that he's not ready, and those types of things. And so this is a prequel to the Avengers. Iron Man 2 was definitely one of my least favorite movies in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe because it really was just an Avengers setup type of movie. But it does lead into The Incredible Hulk. Now, The Incredible Hulk is definitely the black sheep of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie is completely forgotten by a ton of people. Like, a lot of people just don't remember this movie at all. And if I'm going to be fair, you can honestly watch this movie. You can actually skip this movie and still understand what's going on. I feel like the Avengers does a good job of kind of bringing him back into the fold because, again, they recasted Edward Norton. They put Mark Ruffalo in there, and so they kind of had to introduce him in a different way. And I thought they did a pretty good job with that in the Avengers, kind of making him a relatable character. So the Hulk honestly works better in team-up movies than he does his own movie, even though I do like The Incredible Hulk. It's just not my favorite thing ever. And the reason why I put it after Iron Man 2, because at the very end of The Incredible Hulk, Robert Downey Jr. shows up to General Ross saying, hey, we're trying to put a team together. And that kind of leads into the next movie, which is going to be Thor. And the reason why I put Thor next is because it actually takes place right before the Avengers. It talks about the Tesseract. And if you watch the end credit scenes of the movie, Loki is there on Earth where the beginning of the Avengers start. So Thor takes place around 2011. It actually takes place around Iron Man 2 a little bit. It does kind of go back and forth. But Thor would be the next movie to watch because, again, at the very end of the credits, Loki, where the Avengers start off, is where Loki is at the end credit scenes of the first Thor. So it ties into the Avengers perfectly. And so just to kind of recap really quick where we're watching Captain America, the First Avenger, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, and then the Avengers. Okay, so that's where we are right now. So that's 7 movies in. So that's the order that you want to start with. That's technically, in a way, kind of phase 1 if you want to make your own phases. But I'm still, of course, going to give you the whole list of what we're going on here. So after the Avengers, the next movie you want to watch here is going to be Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, it focuses on the events of the Avengers. Tony Stark struggles with PTSD, so these are kind of the after effects of what he's been dealing with the first movie, because he kind of is aware of who Thanos is going to be and what he had to do with all that. So it makes sense to put Iron Man 3 right after the Avengers because he struggles with the events from the Avengers movies, having a hard time going through it. And this movie takes place about 2012. So the Avengers also takes place about 2012. So Iron Man 3 is pretty much directly after because Thor leaves, everyone takes off, does their own thing. But Iron Man 3 is the perfect movie to watch next after the first Avengers. So the next movie on the list here, a movie that honestly, again, you could probably skip. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I mean, I watch them all anyway. It's going to be Thor: The Dark World. I actually mentioned in my podcast about ranking the movies that I actually put Thor: The Dark World a little bit higher than the first Thor. I think Chris Hemsworth really got better as that character, and I feel like he did a better job portraying him in this movie, and the effects are also pretty good as well. But to be honest, it's really forgettable. I mean, the villain's forgettable. I don't remember who the villain was in this movie. I've only seen this movie twice in my entire life because that's how much I really don't like the film. But again, it takes place right after the Avengers, so if you want to know what happens next, again, it does kind of refer to what's going to happen in the future. So I guess if you want to watch it, you can. Again, it's not important that you watch this film, but you can if you would like to. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, you definitely can. Okay, so right after Thor: The Dark World, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This takes place after the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's set place right after the Avengers, kind of near the Avengers. So this movie takes place right around that time. So again, everything takes place around after the first Avengers, probably a couple years after, probably about 2 years after the Avengers. This movie takes place, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So the next movie after that is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy takes place also in 2014. This takes place right around the same time as Captain America: Civil War. And so you can watch Captain America: Civil War, and then you're going to jump into space with Guardians of the Galaxy. And then right after Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to want to put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This movie literally takes place a couple of months right after the events of the first film. So, I mean, again, Groot is like, he turns into a baby. Steve, he turns into a baby, becomes a teenager in the Avengers. So, Guardians of the Galaxy and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 are back to back. So, you just want to watch those movies back to back. And you got pretty much phase 2 right there. So I'm going to go over these really quick one more time, and then we're going to take our musical break, and then we'll continue the podcast from there. So to start off, we have Captain America: The First Avenger, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. All right, so we'll go ahead and stop there. We're going to take our musical break, and then we will continue on with the rest of the list. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far on the correct way to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Black Widow included. I had a fun time putting this list together, and I hope you guys have fun listening to the podcast as well. So as usual, I like to take a little musical break in between to kind of let you guys know what I've been listening to the past couple of days, past couple of weeks here. And this song that we're going to be playing today actually just came out last night, and it's such a good song that I'm like, I got to throw it into the podcast today. So we're going to be checking out the band called Phineas, and the song's going to be called In the Night. This is going to be off of their brand new album called The Fire Itself, which is going to be releasing on August 27th of this year. So it's going to be next month through Solid State Records. The song is a lot of fun to listen to. It's heavy. It's got an amazing catchy chorus. And if you guys like what you hear, make sure you go and check these guys out. You will not be disappointed in any of their other work. I am a very big fan of these guys, and I have seen them live, and they're very, very, very good. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the band Phineas with their song In the Night from their album The Fire Itself. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so welcome back to the musical break. I hope you all enjoyed that song. I love that song. It just gets me so amped. It's so much fun to listen to. So again, we're going over the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the correct chronological order. We're going to go over the next 12 movies here, but just to recap really quick. Again, we covered in this order Captain America, the First Avenger, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So we got 12 more movies to go over here, and then we will go from there. So after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the next movie you're going to want to watch in the timeline is going to be Avengers: Age of Ultron. This takes place pretty much in the year 2015. So the movie came out in 2015, and the movie, it takes place in 2015. Then right after that, you have Ant-Man. Ant-Man actually goes on right around the same time as Age of Ultron. So he's kind of introduced around that time because, again, Falcon shows up in that movie and, just kind of a cool little cameo here. So then right after Ant-Man, you're going to jump into Captain America: Civil War. So this is kind of a Avengers sequel. It's a sequel to Age of Ultron, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and it's also kind of a setup for Infinity War and Endgame. This is a big movie, so this movie is really important to watch. Also, it's really, really good, so you don't want to skip this movie for sure. And then actually right after Captain America: Civil War, number 16 goes to Black Widow. So Black Widow, as mentioned before, again, obviously, I hope everybody has seen Endgame just to, because spoilers are about to come right now. So obviously we all know at Avengers Endgame that Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, she takes her own life so that way they can get the Soul Stone and bring everybody back. And this movie was announced at a weird time because this movie should have came out right around Civil War. Like, I don't know why they waited to make this movie. It was very, very, very strange why they put it technically in phase 4, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. From what I know, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going to be seeing it tomorrow, but I do know for a fact that this movie takes place right after the events of Captain America: Civil War, because again, and then of course, in Infinity War, they've been on the run for years. This movie's probably going to address where they've been to. They're on the run. Captain America's on the run with them. So the movie takes place right after Civil War. So just to let you all know, that's where you want to watch Black Widow for it to make sense. So if you're wondering, is she back to life? No, she's not back. But if you want to watch the movie in the correct way, just know that it goes right after Captain America: Civil War. So we're going to continue with the list here. The next one on the list is going to be Spider-Man: Homecoming. Again, this takes place in the fall season of Captain America: Civil War. So you'll want to watch that movie. It takes place right after the events of that. And then right after is going to be Black Panther. So you can honestly, to be fair, the next couple of movies, well, actually Spider-Man and Black Panther, you can probably switch those because those movies take place right after the events of Civil War. Because again, with Black Panther's father dying and then Spider-Man trying to become a hero, learning from Tony Stark, those movies take place right around essentially the same time. So honestly, you can watch Spider-Man: Homecoming first after Black Widow, or you can watch Black Panther. I just put Spider-Man: Homecoming first, and then again Black Panther. The movie takes place around 2016 as well. So either way is totally fine to watch the film. And then after that, you're going to want to watch Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange bridges the gap between 2016 and 2017. It also shows his transformation into a superhero. This movie is important because you want to watch this movie right before Thor Ragnarok, because Doctor Strange is in Thor Ragnarok, and he kind of talks about the events of what's going to happen with Ragnarok and Loki and those types of things. So it's very important that you watch Doctor Strange first before you watch Thor Ragnarok. So the next movie after is going to be Thor Ragnarok, because again, Doctor Strange is going to be in that movie, kind of a little cameo in the beginning of the film. We see Thor visit Doctor Strange on Earth to kind of learn where his father is, and then of course, we know Thor's father dies in Ragnarok, and the reason why Ragnarok is a perfect spot right there, because Ragnarok ties directly into ties directly into the Avengers Infinity War. But you're actually going to want to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp next. So again, Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. So The reason why I want to watch that here is that technically again, the movie came after Infinity War, and then at the very end of the credits, they vanish except Ant-Man because he's stuck in the quantum realm. So that part of the movie takes place at the same time as Infinity War, because when everyone gets dusted, they get dusted too. So Ant-Man and the Wasp technically would go right after Thor Ragnarok. It's kind of a confusing thing because the movie takes place like kind of on its own thing, and then at the very end of the movie with the end credits, it takes place at the same time as Infinity War when Thanos did the snap. So again, it's probably best to watch that movie, and then after you can watch Infinity War, which comes right after. So again, Avengers Infinity War, we all know the events of that film. We all know that everybody got dusted, that Thanos won. One of the best movies ever. And it's just crazy that this movie even happened. It's absolutely insane. And then, honestly, it gets really easy after that. You jump to the timeline here. It goes to Avengers Endgame, and then right after, it goes to Spider-Man Far From Home. And Spider-Man Far From Home is set in the year 2023. So the next movies after that are going to take place from 2023 onward. So, my friends, that is the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe in the correct order to watch the films. All right, my friends. Well, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today on the correct way to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe in order. I'm going to quickly go over those with you here. Again, no stopping. That way you can just, if you want to jot these down, to write them down. Again, I hope that this is helpful for you guys when you watch the movies in the upcoming future. So again, to start off, the first movie is Captain America, the First Avenger. And then you have Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Black Widow, Spider-Man Homecoming, Black Panther. Again, those can be switched if you want to, either way, but if you want to follow this list, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Remember, the movie takes place on its own thing, and then at the after credits, that's when Infinity War essentially starts. And then you have Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. I didn't include the other movies yet because I don't know exactly where they're going to fit into the timeline. We'll just have to wait and see when those movies come out, and then maybe I can update that list here in the future. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the Chandler Burton Podcast today. If you guys are interested, I do have a YouTube channel called Chandler Burton Entertainment, where I react to music, movies, and video games. If you want to go check out that channel, hit the subscribe button, watch a couple of videos. That would mean the world to me. And keep an eye out for next week. I'm going to be going over Space Jam: A New Legacy with my friend Miguel and my friend Jack. We're going to go see the movie next weekend and do a full review, again, of Space Jam: A New Legacy. And I also have a couple of interviews coming out with some people from YouTube, so we're going to be trying to get back to the weekly podcast uploads. But again, I want to thank you so much for your time and listening to the Chandler Burton Podcast, and until next time, I hope you all take care.